There are only two actions that can be taken on a stock. It can be bought and it can be sold. And those two actions are the only reason why stocks move. So it is imperative that you understand how to read volume if you are going to attempt to predict stock moves. Now, almost all of these videos just showcase moves that have already happened and analyze the move then. And don't worry, we're going to do a bit of that too. But to start off this video, I'm going to show you all a 2-minute clip from my live stream this morning in which I analyze volume in real time and predict what a stock is going to do. You all make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll jump right into the content.
This actually isn't a trigger candle to look for a pullback on because it's not the highest volume, right? It's the highest price action, but not the highest volume, so you're not looking at this pullback. MNPR, trying to curl. Still obviously well down. A lot of overhead resistance now. All of this volume is looking to sell bounces now. That's what I mean when I say overhead resistance. Didn't have any overhead resistance here, right? There was no recent high here, recent bag holders looking to sell, right? But now there is, there's a lot of recent bag holders looking to sell this. So it's not going to move like it did here, unless it can get and break highs again, but that's very unlikely to happen. It's very unlikely that a stock makes a big move like this, fades, and then goes back to break the high. Does it happen? Yes, of course, it does happen. It's not impossible. It's far from impossible. But, all you can do is trade probabilities, right? So a lot of beginners mess up by seeing a extremely volatile, huge move up and then chasing the next little move up because they think it's going to happen again, right? A lot of beginner traders are buying here into all the overhead resistance because they think this is going to happen. And once again, it could. I'm not saying it never will happen, but it's likely not going to. Well, MNPR is trying. MNPR just put in heavy volume. Look at the volume it's getting. So now what's happening? We've been talking about this overhead resistance all morning on MNPR, but look at the volume it's getting now. Now it's getting higher volume so that it can push through these bag holders. That's why it's making a move like this, right? Volume tells the story, Chad. As soon as you saw this volume bar, you could have known like maybe some continuation of bullishness. So this is the stock from PreMarket that I was just analyzing in real time. Let's take a second here, pull back, and really in-depth talk about what happened. So this stock got news at 7 o'clock this morning, obviously picked up heavy volume, and went on what I refer to as its front side run. This is when there is no recent heavy volume overhead resistance. It just got news. It's trading enough volume to rip through really any level, right? Now, that changes the second that volume starts to disappear. So the first clip there, where I was being talked over a little bit by my news guy, sorry about that, but in the first clip, I pointed out that in this candle, I'm no longer looking for pullbacks to buy. I trade a scalp strategy in PreMarket. You may have noticed in the live stream, you may have seen the strategy take a trade, one of these pullbacks here. I look for pullbacks to get long on front side moves like this. But as soon as this stock didn't put in the highest volume here, as soon as the buying power, the buying pressure started to slow down, you will notice that I said I'm no longer looking for pullbacks on this. This no longer looks like front side. It doesn't look like continued strength. And look at how it faded. And at every point during this video, I want you guys to remember, just like when anybody teaches you anything about the stock market, it does not mean that 100% of the time when volume begins to decrease, that the price is going to retrace half of the entire first move. Of course not. There's plenty of instances as well where the volume begins to decrease and then it just perks back up and keeps going again. But your job as a trader and where you begin to get profitable is when you trade in probabilities that are on your side. And that's what videos and channels like this attempt to teach you, right? So please don't think that, oh, well, Trey said as soon as the volume decreases, the price is going to drop huge, so I'm going to short it or whatever. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just a likely probability, and it's why I was able to call it in real time. And then what did we discuss here? As soon as this bounce started here, the second clip began playing, and I talked about how this is likely going to fail. Essentially, this is probably not going to come back to highs up here because the move has low volume. The volume in this buying, the buying pressure that is showcasing here, and you can obviously tell it's buying pressure because the price is going up, right? Listen, remember, any amount of volume is both buying and selling. So just because the bar is green here doesn't mean that it was all buying, and because when the bar is red, it's all selling. No. There's in order to buy a stock, someone has to sell it and vice versa, right? You kind of determine whether it was more buying pressure or more selling pressure based on the price action of the equity in itself, right? Because if there's more buying pressure than selling pressure, price up, vice versa for selling pressure. So, anyway, this started to get buying pressure, but look at the volume. The volume was not there. You were still full of bag holders. Everyone that just recently traded volume here, everyone that was buying shares here, all this volume, is looking for any bounce to get out. Someone with a 65-cent average on this stock, when they hold it down to 56 cents and it bounces to 62, they go, oh my goodness, thank gosh, I can get out of this trade for a small loss, right? That's the group psychology. And that's how you begin reading volume and doing volume price analysis like this, is thinking through it in the way that I just explained there. So that's how in real time I was able to call that this bounce was likely to fail. And you heard me discuss that many beginner traders get trapped in these kind of moves. Many beginner traders see a huge parabolic stock, then they put it on their watch list, then they want to start playing backside bounces, right? We referred to this as front side. This is now backside because you have the heavy volume overhead resistance right here next to it, right? And then the third clip is right here. On this volume bar, on this bar here, I began to talk about how this thing has the potential to now break through this resistance, right? Because look at the difference. Look at the volume in this bar here. It is greater than all of the volume in the selling back here. All of a sudden, you now have the volume, you have the buying pressure to get through the bag holders. The bag holders that were holding it down, and I talked about this volume wasn't going to get through it, all of a sudden now you have the volume to get through it. So we talked about it here at 66 cents in real time, and the stock did, in fact, end up breaking the highs and going all the way to 79 cents, nearly 80 cents. That's a really, really nice move that, once again, was predicted in real time thanks to volume price analysis. So let's summarize. Volume price analysis is an understanding of when buyers are stepping in, when sellers are stepping in, and who's in control of the stock versus previous buy points and previous sell points, right? When there was heavy previous selling pressure, you need even heavier buying pressure in order to come in and break through that, and vice versa for stocks going the other direction as well. Hopefully you learned something in this video. I can continue to make more videos like this. If you're interested, make sure you hit the like button. That's the easiest way to let me know. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new around here. Get videos like this in your subscription box every single day. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this video, but I'm going to link you all to a video here in which I break down whether or not I think day trading is actually profitable.